Hi everyone. Exciting and also kind of sad and also kind of bittersweet video today because this is gonna be the last video I ever film in this apartment. Last video with the book wall. It's okay because the next place will probably have a book wall as well since this has kind of become my thing. But I was literally packing up my apartment, as you can tell by these boxes everywhere. I move out tomorrow and I was like, you know what, let me just film one last book video. There's time for me to sit down and do a wrap up. Even though I haven't been reading that much recently. I haven't been in a slump, I just have literally had no time. And then I realized I didn't do a wrap up last month, so I thought I could do an April and May reading wrap up. But I have kind of a lot of books, but one of them is a long series, so this is gonna be a very quick video, especially because I just filmed a reading for 24 hours straight video, which a lot of these books are from. So if you want to hear me talk more about those books, you can watch that video. But yeah, I'm just gonna go through these books really quick. I feel like this might be my quickest video ever, but I thought, why not sit down and film it for old time's sake in this apartment. In the middle of me, literally I was just dripping, sweating, packing my apartment, and then I was like, you know what, let me sit down and film. So excuse that. But the reason I didn't film a wrap up last month is because I spent the majority of April reading the beloved Shatter Me series, and I finished the whole thing. How many books is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 books, and I did a whole reading vlog on it. The reason it's not out yet is because I had like 10 hours or something insane worth of footage, and I was like, how can I cut this down into an hour? And I couldn't. I edited the first part. I think I'm gonna do a 2-part video, each an hour long, and there's so much I have to cut out, but like it's just too excessive to have as much footage as I had, because I literally left my camera running basically the entire time I was reading, getting all my reactions and stuff. So hopefully that video is coming soon. Once I finish editing the second part, I'll just upload them back to back, so it's like one long video, but like stay tuned for that. It'll probably be coming very, very soon. I'm not really gonna talk about my thoughts and opinions in this video, but I just wanted to let you know that I did read it. If you follow me on Goodreads, which is linked down below, then you would have seen that I finished it a while ago, and a lot of people are like hounding me like, where's the vlog? It's coming, I swear. I'm just so bad at editing. It takes me so long, especially when there's that much footage, because that means I have to sit there and watch this 10 hours of footage over and over again and keep cropping things out. But I did finally read the entire thing, and I'm very proud of myself for doing it because, as you know, I've been telling myself I'm gonna read it for like 2 years, maybe longer, and I finally did. And I finally get to know what everyone's talking about when they're talking about Aaron Warner and the Shatter Me series. So I feel accomplished for getting that done. And then immediately after reading that, I read 7 Sleepless Nights by Chloe Walsh, which was a novella to the Binding 13 Boys of Tommen universe. I read all the chapters about the characters from Boys of Tommen, and I loved it. So if you guys didn't know that this novella exists, it's called 7 Sleepless Nights, and there's just like random chapters. There's a chapter on Gibbsy and Claire. There's a chapter on Huey and Lizzie, which I was very intrigued by. There's a Johnny Shannon and an Aoife and Joey, of course. I just love that universe so much. So it was so special to sit down and see them again and see perspectives, like characters we haven't gotten yet, like Gibbsy and Claire and Huey and Lizzie. It was very interesting and it made me excited for their books. Then I read The Brightest Light of Sunshine by Lucina Coney. I don't know why I picked this up because it wasn't on my TBR, but I think I saw one TikTok about this and then I was like, okay, sold. And I brought it on a trip with me and I read it on an airplane in one sitting. And I feel like when you read a book in one sitting, it makes you like it so much more. So I really enjoyed this book. Like, I thought it was really good. Trigger warning for sexual assault, but the main character is like recovering from this assault that she went through. It's like friends to lovers kind of, but like the whole time I felt like I knew they liked each other. She's a ballerina teacher and it's one of the ballet girl's older brothers. It was super like cute and like cliche, but in a good way. Like a lot of it was kind of cringy and predictable, but was cute to me and I really enjoyed it. But also that could have been just because I read it in one sitting, and so I really liked it. But it was also like good girl, bad boy. Not really though, but like that kind of cliche trope. There's a little bit of an age gap, I think. It's basically single dad trope because he takes care of his little sister, which is also my favorite. So I really enjoyed it. Then I read Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. Loved this book. Everyone's been talking about this book and I feel like everyone loved it and I was one of them. I really enjoyed it. I've loved every book that Abby Jimenez wrote. This is the second book after Part of Your World, which I also really love because that one was a small town romance. This one was 2 doctors. He has really bad anxiety and I just thought of like the way it was written was so good. Like if your love language is acts of service or words of affirmation, read this book because the way that his anxiety was written and like the things, oh, it was just so cute. I'm doing such a bad job of explaining it. Basically, 2 doctors, they have like a really awkward kind of bad first impression of each other. She thinks he's an asshole, and then in his head, because he has really bad anxiety, he's stressed out about this interaction that they had and how he left such a bad impression. He's new at the hospital and he feels super bad. He ends up writing her a letter apologizing and explaining why he acted the way he did, and then they start exchanging letters, and it's just so cute, and it's fake dating trope as well. I just thought the way that they loved each other was so cute. But what kept me from giving this 5 stars, there's a huge miscommunication trope, and it's like the main plot of the book is like this miscommunication, and so this miscommunication was like pissing me off the entire time, especially at the end and like the 3rd act breakup. But besides that, like I had butterflies when I was reading this. I thought it was so cute. You know I love a good boy trope, and I love everything Abby Jimenez has ever written, so I really liked it, and I want a Jacob for myself. Like he was so sweet. I loved him. Okay, then I read To Hate Adam Connor by Ella Mays. I don't know why I read this, because I read To Love Jason Thorne and I didn't like it, and then I read this and I also didn't really like it. It wasn't awful, but I didn't care about the characters, didn't care about the story. Ugh, I had to push myself to read it. Thankfully it was one of the only books I had with me when I was on vacation, so I like had to read it. So I did finish it, but it was a little bit of a struggle and I didn't really care. It's one of Us Is Famous trope. He's an actor. Also single dad trope. So I thought I was gonna really like it, and that's why I picked it up, but I don't know, something about it just didn't do it for me. I found it a little cringy. I just felt like disconnect, no depth or anything. I can't even remember, but remember I was reading it like in public and it was like getting really steamy, and I was like, I really hope no one's looking over my shoulder right now, because I was literally reading like this. Oh my god, I'm literally on a smut scene right now. But I was literally reading like this because I was so scared someone was gonna look over and see what I was reading. But yeah, I think I gave it like 2.5 or 3 stars. After that, I reread Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter, because I read this a year and a half ago. I remember in the moment I really liked it, but like it didn't like wow me or stand out to me. And then I heard it was becoming a movie, and then everyone started talking about it on TikTok again, and I was like, I feel left out because I barely remember this book. I went and reread it, and it's just so cute. I think it's YA. It's not like exactly my perfect taste, but when I did reread it, I was like, ah, I see it now, and I can't wait to see it as a movie. I think it'd make it the perfect rom-com. It's also kind of fake dating trope, where like him helping her get a boyfriend, but like the whole time she actually like is falling for him and he's falling for her. I'm glad I reread it and I remember what the hype is about. Okay, then this is where we get into the books I read in my 24-hour reading challenge. So I'm not gonna go fully in depth about all of them. I'll maybe just tell you my rating. But first I read King of Pride by Anna Huang, which is the 2nd book in the Kings of Sin series. I definitely like the first one better. I think I gave this one 3 stars. 3.5 stars. It was okay, wasn't invested at all. But then I read A Not So Meet Cute by Megan Quinn, and I loved it. I think I gave it 4.5. It was really good. Again, fake dating trope, which I don't know why I was reading so many fake dating tropes recently, but this one was probably one of my favorites. And I love the build up because it's a slow burn, and I haven't read a good slow burn in a while since like Mariana Zapata. I feel like no one does it like she does, but this did do it for me. And I feel like it was a good enough length. It wasn't too long where you're like, okay, we get it, like give us something. This whole part, like they didn't like each other and it was build up, but like they did like each other, and there was like physical attraction, and then there was so much tension and angst, and then like they were together for like this long, which is like my favorite thing ever. So I really enjoyed that. Then I read my most anticipated book of the year, which was Happy Place by Emily Henry. I did like a full review in my 24-hour vlog, but I gave this a 4 stars. It's one of those books I'm always gonna come back to and want to reread in the summers, and it gave me such a nostalgic feeling, and I really did fall in love with it. There were things I didn't like about it, but there was so much I did love about it. I recommend it. I recommend everything Emily Henry writes. It wasn't my favorite book by her, but it wasn't my least favorite either. Then I read Meet Me at the Lake, which I think I gave 2 stars. I don't even remember. Honestly, this book went in one ear out the other. I don't remember anything that happened. I didn't like it. I don't know why. It just didn't stick with me. I had to force myself to flip every single page, and it might have been because I was reading it at 4 a.m. to like 9 a.m. after pulling an all-nighter, but also I just don't think I enjoyed it very much. I didn't enjoy the miscommunication trope. I didn't enjoy the characters. I thought the guy was kind of annoying, and then I just didn't like it. It was a second chance romance, but there wasn't enough groveling involved, and it was just not for me. I loved Every Summer After. I gave that one 5 stars, but this one just, it didn't hit the spot. But you know what did hit the spot? The next 2 books I read, which were When in Rome and Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. I loved these books, guys. Read these now. I want to gatekeep them, but I don't even care. I'm telling you to read them because they deserve the hype, because they were just, they're like short, easy, but like still good, you know? Like, you know when you just need an easy, short book that's also gonna make you feel things? Like that's what this did. Like I cared about the characters, I was invested in the story, I loved the tropes, I loved everything about them, I loved the small town vibe, and I loved that it was just so easy, like read in one night, which is exactly what I did. When in Rome is one of Us's famous trope. She is like a pop star. Like I was picturing Taylor Swift, Britney Spears vibes, and her car breaks down while she's driving through this small town, and the guy that ends up helping her is the love interest later on in the book, but he like helps her with the car. It's Grumpy Sunshine. He does not like her at first. He's just a small town guy. They remind me of Gilmore Girls. He owns a shop in this small town. He's super close with his family and he knows everyone in the town. And then this literally huge famous pop star comes into town and she ends up getting stuck there for 2 weeks and she has nowhere to sleep. And so him being the generous small town boy that he is, even though he doesn't like her or want her around, offers his guest room to her. So now they're living together. Oh, it was so cute. His denial of his feelings made the build up so good. I thought it was really, really, really cute. I loved it. I ate up every second. And then Practice Makes Perfect is about Noah's younger sister who owns a flower shop in this small town, and then the bodyguard of the famous pop star. And look at this cover. Is that enough to sell you? Like, classic good girl bad boy trope. Like, look at that. That looks like a Wattpad cover. Come on. It's exactly what it is. Innocent good girl from a small town with this badass tattooed bodyguard who agrees to help her feel more comfortable like dating. So he's like giving her advice and teaching her and like going on fake dates with her to like teach her how to date. And then obviously it starts working and she's like gonna go on real dates, and then he realizes he's actually jealous, and it's their romance, and I thought it was really cute. I don't think I loved it as much as the first one. I liked the trope in this one, but I think I don't know, they're both really, really good. I recommend them both, and I'm glad I almost just read this one and not the first one, but I'm so glad I read both of them, and I definitely recommend that you do the same. But yeah, those are all the books I read in April and May. May is not over yet. It's only May 26th, so I'll probably read another book. I don't know what I'm gonna read next, but I'll just include it in the next wrap up that I do. But I wanted to film one last book video while I still can inside this apartment. So it's the last time that we're gonna be here, guys. I mean, I have some pre-filmed videos that are gonna go up after this probably, but for me, this is the last video I'm filming here. But I can't wait to go on the next journey, build the next book wall, do moving vlogs, and unpack with me later on in the summer when I'm finally settling down again. And I'll bring you guys on the journey as always. And thank you so much for watching today's video. If you read any of these books, please do let me know, and I'll definitely try to get the Shatter Me video out as soon as possible because I know a lot of you guys want to see that, and I'm sorry. But I'll see you in the next video very, very soon. If you want to follow me on Goodreads to see what I'm reading, it's linked down below, as well as all my other social medias, and I'll see you in my next video very, very soon. Bye!